Hey, it's the hardcore legend. You know, in life, some people talk the talk, but Zack and Felix talk the podcast. Yeah!
Here's a story about Zack and Felix. They went out for a walk and finally like to talk. They found a bunch of microphones and that's where we are. Zack and Felix talk the podcast.
What is this?
This is my entrance music.
Oh, you're really loud.
I thought I was loud, but I can tell. Look at my own, like,
I'm very loud!
I can't tell, like, hearing myself. That's the problem. I can hear myself talk, and then I hear myself in the microphone at the same time. With the headphones.
It's almost Goldberg-like. What's this called?
This is Eyes of Glory by Akash Gandhi.
Gandhi?
Akash Gandhi.
Oh, I thought you meant like Gandhi.
No.
The Gandhi.
Not Mahatma Gandhi.
What's it called?
Eyes of Glory.
I have eyes of glory. Eyes of glory looking at you. Eyes of glory. They won't be through with you yet. Eyes! Eyes! Eyes of glory! Eyes of glory, 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 glory. Eyes of glory, glory, eyes of glory.
I want new entrance music.
You don't like Eyes of Glory?
I want new stuff. Well, I'm too lazy to look. I literally found that one in like 3 seconds. Like, this is pretty good.
Like, ooh, Eyes of Glory.
Yeah, I like it.
I got eyes. I'm glorious. Welcome to Zack and Felix Talk the Podcast.
Another great episode. This is episode 195.
Lucky 195.
I'm Zach.
I'm Felix. And this is 195. This is a very special episode
This is a very special episode.
of Zack and Felix Talk the Podcast.
Yes.
We are gonna officially have like our first a guest on our show.
But Dolores is a guest.
Well, I'm talking about like people that we don't know, like we had friends, family, we got that kind of stuff. But this is like somebody that like is in like a business or like is a person.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that sound right? Does that sound okay when I say that kind of thing? Where they're a person.
They're a real person. I mean, they're someone we don't hang out with on the reg. So
that's kind of what I mean. Yeah. Because we've had like, you know, the Mother All Babies and all that, and we've had guests before.
Yeah.
You know, Coons he was like a co-host guest. We've had Tim. We've had
the tally of like the lesbians.
Yeah. But they've all been like friends and fams. This is like somebody who's like a legit in a profession that we will talk to them about their profession.
In about 10 short minutes, we'll have them on.
Yeah, they're waiting patiently by the phone. We set up a guest. This is exciting. And so for those of you who don't know, we teased this a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about wrestling this week with Rockstar Robby Vegas.
Rockstar Robby Vegas. I'm super excited about this. I have so many questions.
So we went to the Upstate Pro Wrestling Show.
Yes.
Which was this past weekend.
Well, we went to Rochester for that.
Yep. And so Robby Vegas is one of the wrestlers in that Federation and other companies. He does a lot of different stuff all over the place.
Yep.
So we were like, and he actually, you know, we got him to come on and say, hey, wanna be interviewed? And he's like, sure.
At first, he was like, nah, I'm good.
Because not with you clowns.
I have my own better podcast.
I like to do things with real people. But no. So we were going to originally, a while ago, we talked about, you know, doing the Pro Wrestling Insiders Top 500.
Yes. Did you bring that magazine?
I did. I couldn't find it. I couldn't get the magazine. So we're not going to talk about that. Well, we might get into a little bit, but I know he did in his podcast. He talked about that. I don't want to like rehash some stuff. So I think it's just like new friend of the show stuff right now. We're going to just kind of, get to know Robby Vegas.
Yeah.
Rockstar Robby Vegas.
Rockstar Robby Vegas.
A real life wrestling person. And then we can kind of just talk about, where he's going, what he's doing. Because I know he does a lot of stuff. He also plays music. He's a rock star.
Yeah.
Rockstar Robby Vegas. So we'll call him in a little bit. He's waiting patiently by the phone. So we we need to come up with a plan of action. This is our first interview.
Oh, I got a plan in my head.
What is it? Do you have an idea what we're gonna do?
I want to ask questions
about what?
About the independent wrestling scene.
Okay. Yeah. Like in general.
Yeah.
Because I know after talking to him, this is one thing I like. I want to make sure we don't cross lines. Who do you hate? Who do you not hate?
Or I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm not gonna ask personal stuff like that. And it's if I'm just gonna ask, there's one wrestler you want to kick in the balls really, really hard. I mean, who would it be?
Do you all get along? Kind of thing.
No, I like legitimate questions.
All right. No, did you write them down?
No, I got them in my head.
They're all in your nugget.
Yeah, they're all in my nug.
My nug is full of info.
Yep.
I'm going to do this. So yeah. But I think we talked to him. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk a little bit about the state of wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
Because he's very encyclopedic of wrestling. I've talked to him before about wrestling, and he knows everything that goes on, and not everything, but he remembers matches and things oh, did you ever see SummerSlam '88? Oh, that was this person, this person, and he know all the thing and what happened, and he just remembers things. I don't have a mind to remember things.
No, you do not.
I don't remember what I did a couple weeks ago, but I do. Well, no, I didn't remember yesterday happened because today I thought it was Monday.
No, I thought today was Wednesday. I was all kind of confused.
And then one of the kids said, no, it's Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, geez. All right. I just lost a day in my brain.
Yeah.
But, so this is a new territory. So this should be Zack and Felix do the interview.
Yeah. Zack and Felix conduct the interview. I'm going to get classy with this.
Do we need music to introduce it?
Nah.
It's Zack and Felix conducting the interview. It's Zack and Felix talking about things. It's Zack and Felix conducting an interview. You're gonna learn about some other person. I think we can have songs like that.
We could, but not today.
Zack and I like that. That's gonna be our new song. I like it. I mean, Zack and Felix conduct the interview. Zack and Felix talk about things. I can't remember the words.
See, we'll write it down. We'll get some background music to it.
Zack and Felix conduct the interview. I like that part.
Aaron, if you're listening, if you can get some music going for us, you're our
and I could sing it.
Music producer.
Zack and Felix talk the interview. Conduct the interview.
Conduct the interview.
Are you okay?
Yeah, my mic is cracking. I'm trying to fix it.
Is that just your mic?
I think it's my mic.
Or is it our headphones?
I don't know. Sounds like my mic.
Is it? Because it's not happening with me.
No, I think it's just my mic.
Do we have to switch it out or?
I don't know. There we go.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just cable is all weird. So it's adjusting a little
bit. It was intimidated by my awesome singing. Zack and Felix.
Or try to off itself.
Zack and Felix conduct the interview. Zack and Felix talk to a person. Zack and Felix conduct the interview. They're gonna find out about this person. They're gonna ask them questions. And they're going to answer them. All
right. So before we can...
What? You want to update real quick?
Update real quick on Deathpool?
Deathpool, yeah, because I don't want to talk about Deathpool with him there because he hasn't listened to our show, I don't think.
Okay.
Although he has subscribed. Huh?
So listen.
Yeah, until he listens, he's unsubscribed. But yeah, so anything quick, because there were a couple deaths.
Yep.
There were a lot of deaths this week.
So number one.
Eddie
Money. This is someone
Eddie Money. I mentioned him on
a couple
weeks ago. Yeah. He would have been my number one pick next year the only reason I felt comfortable sharing is I didn't think he was going to make it.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
Nope.
Eddie Money, dead. Waste of a person.
Yeah.
I mean, waste of a death. No points.
No points.
Who else?
Then we got Brian Turk. Carnival actor from HBO.
I don't know who that is.
Okay. Then we got Mike Stefanik. 9-time NASCAR champion. He's an older guy, so.
Oh, well then, yeah, he deserved to die.
He actually crashed his plane, got out, was fine, and then died later. Maybe other complications he didn't know about.
Like when he got the bill for the plane. That's expensive.
Yep. And then we got Rick Ocasek from the lead singer of the Cars.
Oh, from the Cars.
Yeah.
Let the good times roll. Isn't that the Cars?
Yeah.
Roll, roll. I can't say too much more because we get sued. Well, will we get sued if he's dead?
Probably. Someone probably still owns his estate.
The record label. Yeah.
Then we got Cokie Roberts, the legendary journalist with NPR and ABC News.
Oh, Cookie will be. Is that a boy or a girl?
That is a girl.
Girl. Cookie. Bye, Cooks.
Yeah, and that's it.
Poor Cooks. Cooks is gone.
Yeah, so no points this week.
I gotta take this off.
What did you do?
My ace bandage.
You want to show an ace bandage?
My knee is messed up.
Know why your knee's messed up?
Because I'm fat.
Yes.
All
you
right.
know what you can do?
I can't do anything about that now.
Well, you can stop being a little bitch and start exercising a little bit.
Oh, they went on the ground. I have to bend over to get that. God damn it. And there it stays, along with ground Pepsi.
Yeah, ground Pepsi got cleaned up.
I have to let my knee breathe. It's just arthritis.
It's just not arthritis.
It's it. No, that's what it is. They said arthritis of the knee.
From putting all that weight on it for years.
Yeah, nothing I can do about it now.
I mean, you can.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm waiting for your mom. I talked to her Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the hell she's doing. She got to get her on her things. She's like, I'm going to do stuff. You're not.
Once she decides to start cooking for me, I'll eat it. But until then, Sour Patch Kids for breakfast.
Nope.
Yum, 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 yum. Actually, I don't eat.
Also, in 3 or 4 days, we got Area 51's coming up.
Is it?
Yeah.
In 3 or 4 days?
I forgot when it is. It's coming up, though.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I can't wait. The official podcast of Area 51 Massacre.
The
Massacre of Area 51.
September 20th, Friday. So, unfortunately.
This Friday?
Yeah, this Friday. Unfortunately.
Ooh, it's going to be amazing.
No one has sponsored us to get us there, so.
No, we can still talk about it and say we're the official podcast.
Yeah, we're still the official podcast, but
yeah,
we're hoping our fans would fly us out there and get the inside scoop.
You still got time. Anyone want to give us a flight out to
even a bus out there?
Yeah. But so we have to do we have to update anything else?
No, we're good.
Do I see if we can give him a call?
Yeah, can we call now? It's about that time.
It's about that time. Calling. Hey, look, I fixed it. I checked it beforehand.
That's probably a good idea.
Hello?
Is this Rockstar Robby Vegas?
Sure is.
Oh, yeah. You're on the air with Felix and Zach of Zack and Felix Talk the podcast. We called. You're our first actual official person we interviewed. How excited are you?
This is pretty cool, man. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it always.
I mean, after 195 episodes, we finally found someone who would take an interview.
Someone actually answered the phone.
I'm glad I could help you guys out, man. This is cool.
Yeah. So like WWE, we have a case of the first time evers.
Yes.
Because always the first time ever.
Excellent.
So we're giving you a little update about you, Robby Vegas. I know you are a rock star, music. You do wrestling, podcasting. You're a man of all trades, if you will. And so, more important than that, you know me from work. You're a close personal friend of mine.
Yep, that's right.
So we want to give you a call because we actually came and saw you this past weekend in Rochester for the UPW, right? That's what Upstate Pro Wrestling.
Yep, Upstate Pro Wrestling in the Dome in Henrietta.
Yeah, and so we wanted to give you a call about wrestling and the state of wrestling. And like Zach was really interested in like your story and how you ended up where you are and how to become a wrestler and all that kind of stuff and why you do the things that you do. He has a couple questions, and like I said, we and you have talked before, but never on on an official podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Zach, you want to?
I do. I mean, thank you for taking our call here. But
what's wrong?
I don't know what's wrong with my mic. But how long have you been wrestling for?
This January will be my 9 years of actually having matches.
Wow, it's what got you into being a wrestler? Like, it's been 9 years. I mean, that's a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I grew up a wrestling fan, and I remember specifically watching WrestleMania 12 with the Iron Man match, Shawn versus Bret. Shawn is my biggest inspiration. And I was 8 years old when I watched that match, and I was like, I'm going to do this someday. So I was in the music scene heavy. I was doing well with my band, but I needed to try wrestling, or I was going to regret it forever. So started training. Well, first I started going to indie shows, which I didn't know existed. I didn't know how people got to WWE. I didn't know the indie scene was a thing. It wasn't a big, well-known fact, but I knew that there was something. So I started going to indie shows, realized how big the scene was, and made a couple connections and started training. And a year into my training, I was told that I was ready to start having matches.
Oh, wow.
Now, did you go to an official wrestling school, or are you just kind of training on the fly? Because I know up in Rochester they have a training school.
They do. The Flower City Wrestling Academy in Rochester is absolutely incredible, and they pump out some of the best wrestlers that you will ever see. And they're humble, and they're hungry, and they're great kids. When I started, I didn't go to a school as much as I went to it was a training facility that was run by Buffalo Championship Wrestling. So it wasn't as official, but I was being trained by Brian Jennings, who was trained by Les Thatcher, and of course in his class was Pepper Parks, who was Braxton Sutter with Impact Wrestling, and John Moxley, and all those guys were in the same training class as him, Carl Anderson. So he was my trainer, and I couldn't afford to pay for training at the time, so I worked for my training. So I would take care of the ring. I kept it at my house. I took it to shows. I set it up. I worked security. I ripped tickets at the door, and I paid off my training by working for the company.
Wow.
So you're like an indentured servant kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
So
and then, of course, before I had my first match, they were like, you're ready to be in front of the crowd, so they gave me a manager role. And then once I was ready for matches, I started having matches.
Nice. So you had the ring at your house?
Yeah, I would bring the ring back to my house. I kept it here for like 5 or 6 months, and I would set it up on training days, and we would train, and then I would take it down and keep it here.
Yeah, would you ever just want to set it up in the middle of your living room or something? Maybe like have this is fucking nuts.
Hey, I had it up in the backyard quite a few times.
Just have like kids, don't even tell them on the down low, have like kids' birthday parties where they can come and like wrestle and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I wish I would have thought of that. I would have made a couple extra bucks.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to find wrestling like rings and stuff in the Buffalo area, where we are. I mean, it's not really the hotbed of a lot of wrestling, because I was interested in when I was younger, getting a ring or going into, training and things, and maybe I just didn't know where to go or what to find. And we're talking, maybe 20 years ago or whatever. Yeah. So you said, about 10 years ago, do you think it was like a big change from like 20 years ago to 10 to now? Easier, harder, or whatever?
At the moment, it feels easier just being on the inside because I see a lot of schools and a lot of new faces and a lot of new things popping up, a lot of new companies popping up all the time. I'm not really sure if I can speak for how it was 20 years ago, but when I talk to the guys that I'm friends with now that were around then, it seems to be incredibly easier from their point of view because, they had much less opportunity, and we live in the social media age now where you can get yourself out there fairly easy. And if you're doing some cool stuff and you're getting a reaction and that goes viral, I mean, that's huge. And 20 years ago, that wasn't as big of a thing, if it was a thing at all. So I think we have a slight edge in that sense, but I also think now people are losing what wrestling is. Everybody just wants to do like a really cool spot or a super big, triple backflip moonsault into a pile driver or something.
Right.
And it's just all about that one move and that one huge reaction in a 15-second clip that some people are starting to lose their ability to actually tell a story, which is what keeps us involved in wrestling to begin with and keeps us watching. So there's pros and cons to it, and not saying that stuff's gone forever or that it's gone completely, but I definitely see it lacking here and there, especially on some of the indie scene.
So is that, would you consider yourself more of like the old school kind of storytelling, purist almost, not so much like the fuddy-duddy kind of, Jim Cornette kind of guy where he's like, old man shouting at clouds, but, you consider yourselves more into the, the art form of wrestling opposed to just, the big spots, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I definitely see myself as more of storyteller. I love the challenge of telling that story and having good ring psychology, and I like the idea of having one of those matches that people are going to be like, wow, that was really amazing, when the first time they gave me a huge pop was because I finally landed a punch.
Right.
To me, that's art. You know what I mean? You got the crowd in the palm of your hand, and I didn't have to go through 3 foaming tables of thumbtacks. It's just not. And I'm not saying that there's not a time and a place for the acrobatic stuff or the crazy things, because there is, and I believe that every show should have a showcase of these guys who are very athletic and acrobatic, and it's really cool that they can do those things. I can't, but I still enjoy the story. But I think that there could be a good mix of the two as well. I still like to do cool moves here and there. You'll see me dive. You'll see me throw sling blades. I like to do a lot of the kicks and knee strikes that you see a lot of these guys do. But I also like to tell a story at the same time.
Now, with you being in the indie wrestling scene for like 9 years now, have you gotten any other opportunities outside the indie scene? I know like there's WWE, there's Impact, there's AEW, like all that.
Yeah, a few years back, I got my first shot at extra work with Impact. So I went to Impact for the day down in Erie, PA. And, I just worked with them, learned some things, helped with setup, did things backstage, got in there, had a little time to roll around in the ring with another indie guy who I'm very close friends with, Cyclone Jones. Mm-hmm. And so we got in the Impact ring and worked a little bit. And then last year, just over a year ago, actually, I got the call from WWE to do extra work. So they took me for Raw and SmackDown, and I went to Columbus, Ohio, and Detroit, Michigan, and I had a tryout match before SmackDown went on, and just learned the ropes of WWE and how things work there, and met everybody, mingled backstage, and just kind of hung out and learned.
Now, how's that differ from where you are now? I know seeing the indie scene, the ring looked like a lot smaller than what I see on TV or in a live show. It's when you get out there, you're oh, this is completely different than what I'm used to, or is it just does that all come natural to you?
A little bit of both. The WWE ring is 20 by 20, which is it doesn't sound like much if I say it that way, but it's huge. And when I got in it, I almost lost my stride just running to do a shoulder tackle because I was kind of stutter stepping because I didn't realize how far away the ropes were going to be when I started running.
Other way, no.
Yeah, right. And once I got in the groove and everything started flowing, it started coming to me. But then at the same time, the referee's in there telling you to work the hard cam. You got to know where the camera is. You look at the camera, turn towards the camera. And a lot of the indies, if there even is a hard cam, okay, we know where it is, and then there's the guy walking around the ring with the other, and we don't have to play to it as much, whereas WWE focuses very much on facial expression and being right there at the perfect place for everything that you do. So it was a little nerve-wracking, especially when you're in the ring about to have your tryout match, and they tell you, show me what you got in 5 minutes, but don't do
your whole life right here. Got everything exactly. Right here. 5 minutes, no pressure. Go ahead.
5 minutes, and they say don't do A, B, and C either, and you're like, okay, so that eliminates a handful of things that I would do, and then right as they ring the bell, the referee says make it 4.
So what are some of the things they would say not to do? Like other like superstars moves or?
Yeah, it was, don't take it to the outside, don't go to the top rope.
Okay.
They didn't really want people to do any like head over feet stuff as far as like flipping guys over and things like that because they don't know. And in their defense, they don't know what everybody knows really.
Right.
So they don't want you to, I'm going to bring in all these extras and give them tryout matches, and they don't really know what they're doing. Somebody broke their neck.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they limit it, and it's more like they want to see your footwork. They want to see how you move around the ring. They want to see how you lock up, grab a headlock, hit the ropes, throw an arm drag. Like they want to see the essentials, the basics.
Okay. So they're not worried about like everything else. Did you do any kind of? Did you have to do any mic work, or was it all just physical in-ring work? Or I mean, how was it different than you thought it would be, or was it pretty much what you thought it would probably be?
It was much more intimidating once I was actually back there because of the production value.
Okay.
Very, very different than when I was at Impact. When I was backstage for WWE, it was just people everywhere, and this guy's running wires, and this guy's pushing totes and boxes, and the girls are doing their hair and makeup in the hallway, and you got guys cutting promos in the promo room, that are going to air later in the night. And then when it comes time for the tryout matches, the locker room surrounds the ring. So I'm out here doing this match in front of the best wrestlers in the world, and I'm not even allowed to do
no intimidation. No.
Right. And I'm not allowed to do some of the things that I would normally do.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, what am I going to show the best wrestlers in the world with a couple of arm drags? But,
right.
And at the same time, they just want to know that you're trainable. He's got the basics. I can make him whatever I want him.
Okay. So, and then, so what was it go from there? So you go back to your life. They have your name in a Rolodex, so to speak, right? And then just you wait for a call, or
yeah. Essentially, now at this point, it's you hope for more extra work. You hope to get a call to go to the performance center. You hope that you stay on their radar. I'm constantly updating them with new promo pictures, videos, whatever I get, I pass along because now I have that contact. So
right.
It's I got this. I'm really proud of it. I'm going to send it along. I got this. It looks good. I'm going to send it along. And you just hope that you get another call. And it took me, 8 years to get the first call. So
right. But at least they know your name, and then just concentrating on what you're doing now.
Yeah, and it was a good showing. I mean, Dean Malenko came up to me after my match, and he thanked me, and he told me that he really enjoyed it. And I won't say what else he said because I don't want to put anything out there to make it sound like rumors or anything.
No, we're just.
But he enjoyed it, and Devon Dudley enjoyed it, and I got a lot of good feedback. So good. I'm not in any way, shape, or form disappointed that I haven't been called yet because they did tell me some pretty good things.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the indie stuff a little bit, I know with the bigger promotions, they have a ton of writers and everything else. Like in the indie scene, like who decides like the matches and like the storylines and everything like that?
It really depends on the company because sometimes the promoter is the sole person in charge, but other times you have a promoter and a booker, kind of like WWE used to be when it was like Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson.
Right.
So a lot of companies, it's a hard job for one guy to be the promoter and the booker. So usually there's somebody who helps out with the booking and the storyline aspect, and they'll sit down and come up with what they both like together and who they want to have on the roster. Some guys will switch the roster up every now and then and take some guys out, put some different guys in just to keep it fresh. So it really depends on what company you're working for.
Okay.
And I know a lot of times with the with some of the indie scene, they bring in the older or more established wrestlers from former WWF or WWE stars. I remember the first match I saw, you were going against the Warlord and Barbarian, and they were freaking huge.
Yeah, and still strong, by the way. Just throw that out there.
And you went through that, but as a wrestler and a wrestling fan, I know you've talked to me about how sometimes you have like that list of, I had a match with these guys, I had a match with these guys, this was awesome, and you always like pick their brains or like that kind of stuff, or who kind of organizes that situation where like say you got some big name person coming in, like, and they're not like part of the federation or the company, but they're in here for a special occasion. I'm thinking of somebody like the last show, Sonny Kiss came and actually lost the match, which I was kind of surprised because, usually they come in and I don't know if they're supposed to put the local talent over. Does it just depend on the person or what?
Yeah, it really depends on the person and the promoter, what the storyline is in that company at the time. Because, also if you always bring those guys in and they're always going over, what's the point of even having your own roster and your own talent? Because you're basically telling everybody that they're not as good as anybody else. If that's the case,
Right.
But a lot of those guys have been around a long time. So when you get that opportunity to face them, that's basically the promoter telling you, like, you're ready for this. Like,
right.
You are on their level, and anything could happen from that point on. I've been in the ring with, Warlord and Barbarian, Leo Rush, Velveteen Dream, H.C. Loke, Colin Delaney. And each time I'm like, right before I walk out, I'm like, am I even ready for this? And then I go out there and have these matches. And, I've beat everybody I just named. I've won that match, except for Colin Delaney. Colin Delaney is the only one I don't have a win over. So, you think these things, then you go out and you have these matches, and then when you get to the locker room and everybody's hugging you and shaking your hand and telling you it was great, that's when you get that validation of, okay, I belong here. Because wrestling is a weird world. So sometimes I question, like, can I do this? Am I doing this right? Am I even on this level? This guy's about to give me this opportunity, but, what if I don't deliver? And it's just like that constant, like, insecurity of, like, oh my God, like, I'm going out in front of a live crowd to do something extremely dangerous, and I'm going in there with the best people in the world. So it's a strange thing, the wrestling business, but a lot of times it comes down to the promoter telling you, like, I've been watching you and you're ready.
Right. And does that like give you the confidence of, like, all right, let's fucking go balls to the wall and let's do this?
Yeah, and after you start doing it more and you start getting those matches and they keep going well, that's when you have that confidence. You're like, I do know a lot, and I am doing this, and now you got that confidence boost and everything just clicks and makes sense, and you're like, oh, I get it now, and then you're just off running.
Now, as far as working with, like, outside talent, do you have a preference of like, say, maybe an older former star of, like, the WWE, or maybe like more of an indie star, like, say, a Joey Ryan, who's, like, in the prime of what they're doing, but just hasn't made that jump to WWE or whatever, opposed to, say, someone who was, like, say, a Tatanka or something, who was a star in WWE and then is still kind of, muddling around in the indie scenes. Like, do you have a preference, or does it have some pros and cons, either or?
As far as working with them?
Yeah, but as far as working with them and maybe doing that kind of stuff, like I would look at maybe Joey Ryan as far as that goes, like, more of a peer of yours as far as, like, age wise and, experience wise and things of that nature, opposed to when you wrestled, say, the Warlord and Barbarian, who are obviously more veteran presence, I guess.
Yeah. I don't really have a preference because I feel like there's something to learn from both of those categories. And I did work with Tatanka too. I didn't face him. I worked alongside him. Mm-hmm. And, like, guys like that are so filled with knowledge, and they know the WWE machine, and they know how to pass along the things that they've learned over the years. And that generation of guys was wrestling so much, and they didn't have what we have now to take care of us. They didn't have their traveling massage therapists and doctors and all that stuff. And they know how to work because they knew, like, you only get so many bumps. You don't need to punch your bump card every single night. You can have the crowd in the palm of your hand without falling and flipping and going crazy, every single night of the week. So there's something to learn from that. And I took a seminar with Al Snow, and he was huge on that. Like, strong style is only going to get you so many concussions before you have to retire.
Okay.
And that's because people are doing strong style the wrong way. Not the guys who actually do it. I'm not talking about, like, who would you consider strong style? Like a Shinsuke Nakamura.
Like, yeah.
He does it, but he does it right.
Right.
And guys think that means, okay, I'm going to kick you as hard as I can in the face because I work strong style. That's not true. That's not how that stuff works. So, like, you learn that from the guys who were already in WWE, and they're telling you, like, you guys think that it's a real thing, and it's not, essentially.
So it's basically just looking even more realistic, if you will, coming actually closer to the hits, because and that's the one thing I thought was interesting when we went to see some of the matches, when you could see the differences in skill level, especially in the indie scene where you got some really fresh green people and some people are really more polished and experienced, and to see it live is very much, you can really see the difference, and then even those older guys, like when I saw, the Barbarian, when they were wrestling with you guys, like it was an obvious difference between what they're doing, even at their age, opposed to, some of the other guys that are maybe just starting off or just kind of at some level. I'm not trying to shit on like some of the indie guys, there's a lot of good guys in doing that stuff. But even like when I think Adam Rose was there, which you were like, oh, he's like a lower level kind of WWE guy, and he just kind of left the company. But he was, it was just you could very noticeable the difference of the matches that they had with the talent that was the local talent that was there.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, too, to get back to your, original question, like learning from some of the bigger indie names, too, you learn how to command an indie crowd a little differently than a WWE crowd. Mm-hmm. You learn how to make yourself a star and come into your own. And that's why I said I like a mix of working with both of those guys, because you can take something away from everyone. And a lot of those lower-level indie guys that you're talking about who are, like, still very green, that's really going to pick up because they're going to go up to a vet, or at least they should, and say, I'm on third, watch my match, and critique it, and when they come back through, that's where they're going to learn. Here's what I saw, here's what needs to change, here's what I liked, here's what I didn't like. And those guys are great for that. And I used to do that all the time with guys like John McChesney, Tyson Dukes, who, you could see him on Impact, and he was in TNA when it first started, and he had a small run in WWE, but for the most part, he was an indie guy.
Right.
And so he knows how to command that crowd and do it right. So coming back to the locker room, just saying, did you happen to catch my match, is going to make me a better wrestler than actually having the match.
Yeah. And so is that, so the back room stuff, the locker room stuff for indies, is it cutthroat, or you guys got each other's back? Is, depends on the company, depends on the person. Cause I know WWE's got the politics involved and all that kind of stuff. Whereas I know with some of the indie scenes, it looks like they're all in together. They're all setting up the ring. They're all holding the cage up together when the cage match comes out, and they're all holding it. But is there, a little bit of sibling rivalry, if you will, or something like that? Or is it a nasty, or does it depend on the promoter or the owner of the company, with the environment that he or she portrays?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it goes by company, but for the most part, it is a pretty good brotherhood. Of course you got your handful of guys who make that a very difficult thing. And some companies, though, are just so good at like building that bond in their locker room that everybody in that locker room is like, we're brothers, and nobody messes with any of us in this room. And I love locker rooms like that. And the State Pro is like that. UPW is such, like, the talent there is insane. Everybody is so good. And also in the locker room, we support each other. We build each other up. We want each other to do better. And if there is competition, it's friendly competition to make us better. Yeah,
and I just noticed, even like with UPW, there is a definite talent level there, but there's also it's a familiar what's that word? Familiarity.
Sure,
whatever.
I'll go with that because I can't say it either.
With like the fans, like there's an interaction with the fans that's kind of cool, that that they're not afraid to like just joke with the friends and have fun with the fans, and they're before and after the matches they're just kind of walking around and interacting and that so I mean, is that kind of common with some of these like independent places? Or because I just
not always
because like I know there's around here there's a couple places besides that. There's like Empire State Wrestling, and there's a couple other places around here, but I don't know. Like I just thought every time I've gone to the upstate, it was like a fan friendly kind of environment. People joking around.
Yeah,
I was joking around with a couple of the guys when they're putting up the cage. You're like, oh, this is gonna fall on you guys. You know that, or something like that.
And we like that environment, and the wrestlers make it that way because of the bond that we all share in the locker room. It spills out and it shows, and I think that's why the crowd connects with Upstate Pro more than some other companies because of that. And the Upstate's been a company for 16 years, and that's a long time for an indie. And they're still just hitting their stride now. So that just tells you it's growing because of things like that. The fans can appreciate what we do, and they know that we're very strong brotherhood, and that they're going to get a stellar show every time.
And they do. I mean, I was looking through some of their alumni. Like they have some really big name people that came through there.
Yes.
And
they get Luke Harper.
Right.
Luke Harper is one of them. They've had AJ Styles there. Colin Delaney obviously was under WWE contract for a long time. He still works with Ring of Honor. There's just a lot of guys that come through Upstate that just end up going on to bigger things, and that's like a badge of honor to be able to work there. And a lot of their guys currently still end up in the top 500 in PWI every year.
Oh, so there are guys there that are, because we were originally going to talk about that, but it's been a couple weeks after that came out. But so there's some of those guys that are on the 500. I haven't seen the list. I went to look for the magazine, but it wasn't I couldn't find it anywhere. And
Colin Delaney was in there.
Okay.
Cheech, Anthony Gaines, Carter Mason. There's a lot of guys on that roster that are just climbing the ranks in the top 500 every year.
Now, what would you do if you ever on the 500?
That's a goal of mine. And now that I'm working for UPW for the last 2 years now, and now I'm getting a big singles push, and I hope that this is my year to break in, because I know that UPW has eyes on it, and I'll be wrestling for them in just a couple days again already at the mall at Grease Ridge for Brawl at the Mall, and I'm just looking to have stellar matches as much as possible.
Now, with wrestling 9 years, have you won any of their titles or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm a 6-time tag team champion and a 1-time heavyweight champion.
Oh, nice. There's a little brag segment there.
Walking around work with his title belts on.
Yes, yeah. I've 3 companies in New York. I've been tag champions and one in Indianapolis.
Are you currently champion anywhere?
I am heavyweight champion for Ultimate Wrestling.
That's what I thought. I saw on the Facebook or something that you were some kind of heavyweight champion. Do you consider yourself a heavyweight?
Yes. I do now. At one point I would have said no, but thanks to my new supplements that I take, yes.
Like getting bigger, getting stronger.
Right.
So I know you, we went over the time you allotted. I mean, I could talk to you all day.
I mean, we can do a part 2. The only reason I have to cut it short is because I actually have to do my podcast now.
Right.
And my guest, Cyclone Jones, just walked in, so you have good timing.
All right, there you go. Yeah, I was just looking at my line. I'm like, oh, we went over, but so you want to plug your podcast real quick?
Yeah. It's the All Bets Are Off podcast. You can get it on all available podcasting apps. Of course, you could follow the brand new Twitter for that, which is just ABAO Pod. And, I do interviews with people in horror and paranormal, wrestlers, musicians, and then, of course, I'll do breakdowns of pay-per-views. PWI 500, we did the top 50 hair metal albums. We're still in the process of getting to all those.
All right. So you're passionate about your music and the wrestling.
I am. I still play gigs. My new album is coming out within the next month. I just finished recording it, 10 tracks of all original stuff. I did everything myself, obviously except for the recording, but I played all the instruments, sang them all, did my own backing vocals, whatever. So that'll be out soon, and that'll also be available on hard copy, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, Pandora, all that stuff.
Man.
Wow.
You are a bit you're putting us to shame. All we do is a little podcast. But thanks again for coming on. We'll definitely have we'll have to have another part 2 or part 3 or whatever. Maybe get you in here live sure. and kind of talk for a while. It was like I said beforehand. I know me and you've talked in the past. Just wasting time after work. Don't tell our boss. Just talking for hours. Oh, I gotta go. It's like 6:00.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You're definitely have a great mind for like wrestling, and I think we have the same sensibilities as far as what we expect out of our wrestling. And just to get an idea from somebody in the business, like something that I've always wanted to be a part of. I'm too fat and old to do it now, but like I said, maybe a manager. I can probably be a manager.
You might be. You could be.
I just come out there with glue albano. I'll put some stuff on my face. It'll be great.
That's done.
So thanks again.
Yeah, thank you again.
Yeah, good luck with the podcast and all the things you're doing. And I'm sure this won't be the last time that we talk to rock star Robby Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye now.
That went a lot better than I thought it would.
I know. I told you that.
We're good.
What, now that we just boast over this?
Hey, pat me on the back. Hey. Look at me. Pat you on the back. All right. Zack and Felix conduct the interview. Zack and Felix talk to people.
And everyone just stop listening. Because we're literally just bragging about doing our first interview. But no, that's really interesting. Like all the stuff. I mean, I had other questions, but I just
I was looking at the. We took 20 minutes
and made it a half hour.
It was a half hour. I mean, like I said, he's got his own podcast he's doing. That's why we were trying to fit it in there, which is great. But so yeah, he's definitely very, very interesting, very knowledgeable.
Yes.
Great guest, first time evers.
First time evers. Yep.
Oh man, I could have done that all day. We should do it like just a wrestling podcast, and then we can have nobody listen. I think we could do a good wrestling podcast.
I think we would still have our normal people listen.
A good interview. We interviewed him. Our questions were pretty good.
Yeah.
The follow-ups. We did really good at listening. Mm-hmm. We didn't interrupt.
No, I had some other questions. Like, how did you get out of not like being able to hold the cage up? I noticed he wasn't holding the cage.
He did. He had one end for a little bit when they were putting it up.
Well, we put it up, but then when the match was going on,
I think they get the greenhorns to do that.
Yeah, like how do you get out of that? Like,
he's like, I got shit to do.
Now, I was also thinking because you mentioned how you want to be a wrestler, but you're too fat and old now.
Right.
Well, I'm thinking because you're not. You still got a little movement in you. You lose, work out a little bit. Now I'm thinking. You and I will become tag team wrestling.
We're not going to be I could be a manager.
No, see, here's how it's going to work.
All right, what was our... Well, you got a name, right?
Well, I don't got a name. I just have a plan.
Oh, okay, what's our plan? To become incredible tag team wrestlers.
So this is how it works. I always start in the ring first.
Right.
Get everyone fired up.
Right.
All right, I threaten the other guys. Like, oh, man, well, I'm definitely going to kick your butt.
Okay.
I'm really not good at promos, so.
that was pretty good. Oh, I'm going to kick your butt.
So then all of a sudden, like, the guy comes after me like, nope, tag you in, and you just intimidate them. Like,
who's going to be intimidated by fat old me?
Well, you got to look more intimidating.
And be like, dude.
You just got to look more intimidating.
I'm going to get you.
You just got to look more intimidating, and then they come at you, and you just like, and body slam this lay on them. They can't get back up.
Boogity. We could be called Zack and the Fat Man.
See, I never wrestle. I just get out of the ring real quick, and then you go in.
But
and
your heart will explode.
Yeah, you body slam them and lay on top of them. Like, Felix, really let me kick out. Like, no.
I don't think that'll work.
I'm pretty sure it will. It'll be a foolproof plan here.
No, I want to go to wrestling school in Rochester. Wrestling school. They have a defibrillator there.
Yeah, that's good.
They had that one guy who's like my size.
Yeah, he was pretty big.
I can't remember his name, but yeah. But I could probably, gotcha. I'm going to get you. Gotcha. No, I would like to be a manager talking shit. I'll be a manager, not an advocate. Yeah. I don't want to be just like an advocate like Paul Heyman. I'm a manager. Like Mr. Fuji. I was thinking that the other day. Like, I want to be like an evil manager or something. Like evil. Every old manager had like something in their hands to use as a as a weapon. Like Mr. Fuji had his cane. Jimmy Hart had his megaphone.
You would have like a meatball sub, but
I would always be holding a meatball sub.
But here's the thing: the meatball sub would have been sitting out for like a good week or so with the bread super hard.
No, there's not going to be a meatball sub wouldn't last long enough to get hard around me. No, but I
or like a meatball sub with like a pipe inside, like you hit him with a sub, like there's a pipe the entire time.
I hide things in a sub. Yeah, I always pull out something different.
And then you just like hit him with it, and like start eating your sub. Like, well, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying to eat my sub.
It would be a keyboard. I just always hold like a keyboard or like anything, and then just eat my sub.
Yeah,
what?
The ref turned out. What happened? Oh, no, I'm just eating my sub.
I got like a big like a thing of salami or something. Some very Italian.
Yeah.
Hey that was impressive. I like us.
I know. We did pretty good.
Now, you're not going to be here this weekend, right?
I will not.
I might have to go check out Robbie up in the Brawl at the Mall. It's up in Rochester on Friday night.
Oh, nice.
So I might go up and see that. But I'm really interested. He's probably going to listen to this and be like, these guys are idiots.
Yeah. So let's just stop right now.
Well, you said you got some hate for the summer hate. This is the last week, right?
This is the final week because there's only 4 more days left of summer. Get it in, people. Saturday is the end of summer.
What is...
What?
My brother Andy texted me.
What the fuck?
Oh, he's... some bitch.
Well, what's that some bitch doing?
He said he just texted me a picture of him and Titus O'Neil with Titus again. Titus
Worldwide.
I'm gonna say right now.
To ask if we can call and get him on the podcast.
Yeah. Then we'll extend it.
So while you do that, I'll give him a little bit of hate today.
All right.
So the reason I have a little bit of hate, I was a little late for the. Excuse me.
You're right?
Yeah. I was a little late for the podcast because I was trying to get on this on time, but like Taylor's mom's out of town, so we got one of her like prep meal kind of things that come in like a box, everything that's needed, like kind of like a blue apron, stuff like that. Like it wasn't that, it was something like along those lines, and like so like I'm looking at going, okay, like I got like a half hour before Felix shows up. So I can definitely get this done because in the thing it says like, total time like 20 minutes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it wasn't gonna work.
No. It said like total time like, yeah. So like no, it said 10 minutes. Like total like prep time 10 minutes and like blah blah. So okay. So I start reading the directions like cook rice for 15 minutes. I'm like,
that's wrong.
That's more than 10 minutes. So
math is.
So I already had like everything out and like working on. I was like, well, I can't put everything back now. Like back in the individual wrap bags, I had everything in for some reason. Like I was like, why would you tell me 10 minutes? And yet your first instruction is cook rice for 15 minutes, then let stand for 10 minutes. So 25 minutes? I gotta fucking do this now? Like, so I was a little annoyed with that. Like, if you're gonna do something, put the right amount of time on it. Just don't lie to me. I can read.
No, see, okay, so Chef Florida isn't going to call. He left the media event that his charity, that he works with Titus O'Neil in this charity, and he said he just left. So to hell with him.
Yeah, thanks.
I booed him.
Thanks for nothing.
I was going to nominate him for Diamond Dingleberry.
I know, not anymore. Not with that attitude.
Nope. Nah, I don't think so.
Nope.
I got, so yeah, I was a little nervous when I came in, and you were cooking.
I got that
because I told originally
Yeah.
Rockstar Robby Vegas we were going to call it 6.
Yeah.
I figure I'll get here a little early. We start a little early, make 10 minutes in, we call them. But then like you're like, oh, I'm just finished cooking and okay, whatever. So I'm sitting here and I'm doing my thing, and then you're like, oh, I just got to eat now. I'm like, what?
I took like 2 bites and then put it in the fridge.
I go, oh, okay.
I just had to get something in my stomach. I was starving.
No, I that's fine. I was just like,
I was mostly mad. Like I was getting frustrated. I was bitching about everything because like. You literally said it'd take me 10 minutes, and the first instruction is 15 minutes long.
I just thought I was like, oh, our first guest, we're fucking flaking on them, being all idiots, but we were able to, what's it called? I texted him and said we'll call like quarter after. He said that was fine because I just knew he was on a tight window because he has to do his podcast. Which is pretty cool. And I think maybe the next day we try to get him in. We had to subscribe to his podcast. He subscribed and rated ours already. He did it. He said, I don't know if he's ever listened to it. I'm sure he'll listen to this one.
Yeah.
Right?
You listen to yourself. I mean, that's what I always do.
You don't listen to yourself at all. You've never listened to this podcast.
No,
Have you ever listened to any of this podcast?
No.
Any of the
No.
the 195 episodes?
195 hours, not 1 minute.
I listen every once in a while.
I don't.
You should.
I know I should. It'll probably make me a better podcaster, but I'm not gonna.
I think we're getting better.
We
just did our first interview.
I mean, after this, it's only up from here.
Yes, this is going to be the big thing.
Yeah,
we're going to interview so many people now. If only we knew how to book people.
Yeah, I mean, our intern pretty much sucked at that.
Fucking Hollywood.
Oh,
I'm gonna get hot. Oh. So I did a thing today.
What'd you do?
So I spent a lot of money on toys.
How much money?
I don't want to say.
I mean, your mom doesn't listen to this.
I don't want her to accidentally listen to it.
All right, can you
I'll tell you later.
I mean, can you sign out a number?
No, because you're gonna totally say it.
No, I won't say it. I promise.
No.
Scout's honor.
No, you're not. You weren't a scout. Well, you were for half a second.
I was for half a second. I got that honor part.
You do. That's the right. Yeah. That's the right. No, I'm not going to. But
just sign me as the numbers.
No, but I'm working towards my
all right.
My vintage Star Wars collection.
All right.
I bought some old school 1976 to 85 collection. That's the years of this. The original Star Wars.
Yeah.
So there's the Star Wars figures.
Okay.
From the movie New Hope, Star Wars. Then there's the second wave was the Empire Strikes Back, and I've all the ones I got are kind of in that area. All Empire Strikes Back ones, and then there's Jedi, and then Power of the Force and all that stuff. But I got a bunch of guys, and I'm gonna slowly, start collecting these. I'm in now.
Yeah?
I had one or two. I was like, maybe I'll start doing this. I'm in. It's it. I'm done. It's all hope is lost. I was collecting those the 12-inch figures, the 6-scale high-end Hot Toys.
Yeah.
I might have to put those on hold.
Because those are also expensive.
Those are like $200, $300 for one, you know.
Yeah.
So I might have to put those on hold. I'm gonna build a case. I don't know what I've done. I'm insane. I don't know why I'm doing this.
On a rough scale, how much money have you spent so far? Just like a ballpark.
On what?
On everything. Like on
everything?
all these minifigures you bought, then the ones you've been now collecting. The rough.
The old ones?
Yeah.
I don't want to say. I don't want to get into the wrong hands. I've been spending a lot of money. I have in the past spent a lot of money on the Hot Toys ones. So to give you an idea, they're between $250, $300. I got at least 6 of them.
Okay.
So that gives you an idea of how much I've been spending on that. Officer Nick's even worse. He's got a lot more than I do.
Does he?
Yeah, but they're cool. They're so awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I did a thing, and then I did. Aaron did give me the thing. The belly thing.
Oh, sweet! Thank you, Aaron.
So yeah, I feel excited, and I feel weird, and I don't have any buyer's regret, but it's like one of those things where you do something and you jump off and you're like, this is it now. This is what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm completely
I'm all
fully
in.
invested in this. This is what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life.
Well, it won't be the rest of my life, but I think it's a goal. I think I needed some like collecting. What? It's not gonna be the rest of my life because there's an end to it. That's one of the reasons I got into it. So we can go into maybe some other time. We'll do a collecting show.
Okay.
About collections and collectors and stuff. But like I said, I was sitting there. I buy figures here and there, but they're all current stuff.
Yeah.
So for example, Marvel Legends is a line of characters and figures.
I buy the Marvel Legends helmets and stuff. That's why I've been slowly.
No, I'm talking about the figures. There's Marvel Legends figures.
Yeah, the figures.
But so I grab the ones I think are cool, like a Wolverine here, Deadpool, or whatever. But they keep making more.
Yeah.
At least
that's my problem too.
So they keep making more. So like, oh, I got a new one. At least this collection I'm going to try is there's a certain amount.
Yeah.
Like there's only like 113 like figures in the line. Then you're done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you start getting into like the condition and the versions, and there's a whole bunch of different variations and things of that nature. But I got a bunch. They're nice, crispy. Had the weapons with them. Look, they're gorgeous. And I'm like, God damn it.
Maybe next week we'll have a collector's episode of the podcast.
Next week?
Maybe next week, or I know we were told to still get to Carl.
Oh, you gotta do that.
Yeah. So we got some stuff planned.
I think we can get some. We can get guests in.
Yeah.
Collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if Aaron can come in.
Aaron can come back.
Or maybe a guest that we don't know, like Robby Vegas. Aaron would be a good guest to have in.
Because he
knows a lot of stuff.
Yes, he's into collecting older things.
But so it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us: Facebook, Twitter, Instagrammies, MySpace, Tumblr. I don't know. That's not all. That's not what we're not on that.
Did we do a shout out?
We gave the shout out to the mother of all babies.
Okay, I'll make sure we got that.
We did that, and
Diamond Digger.
I'd say Robby Vegas.
I'm gonna go Robby Vegas.
The first ever.
First ever.
So
Till next week.
what do you got?
This song.
No, it's not that.
I don't know what this is. Desert